Hello everyone, today's video is on my Coach vintage bag. My Coach vintage bag. So yeah, you guys, today I wanted to talk about this beauty right here, my Coach vintage court bag. And if that's something that you're interested in, then go ahead and keep on watching. Remember, if this is something that you're interested, to go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that I could keep on bringing you vintage Coach videos. So yeah, let's go ahead, let's jump right in. So I wanted to talk about this beautiful, beautiful bag in my collection, my Coach court bag. And there's so much that I want to tell you guys about this bag, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and put her right here so that we can go ahead and talk about and discuss this beauty. So the first thing that I want to talk about, and then I'll go into showing some more details of the bag, is just style. The evolution of style for everybody, for me, for you guys, for women, for girls. You know, as a young girl, I want to talk about my evolution of style. So my very first designer bag ever was a vintage Coach bag. And that was what started it all, the red dinky Coach bag. And back in the 80s, when I was growing up, when I got that Coach bag, it was a Coach bag. It wasn't a vintage Coach bag. It wasn't vintage at that time. It was a new Coach bag. However, that bag right there, I want to say, is what started it all. I always loved the color red, and my first Coach bag ever was the beautiful, lovely color red. And talking about style, I want to talk about how back then, you guys, and I have to do a little disclaimer here, don't judge me, but back then, I didn't know anything about style when I first started out growing up, 17, 18 years old. I thought I was doing something. I really thought I was fancy. I would throw a lot of different weird outfits together. And you have to understand that back then in the 80s, that was around the time when Madonna was hot. She was just making it. She was just coming out. She had the song, Material, living in a material world, and I am a material girl. You know that we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. So, back then when Madonna was hot and happening with her lace, I'm not a singer, you guys, don't judge me, but you know the song Material Girl by Madonna. That was hot back then, and her style was I loved her. I was so into Madonna heavily, so I loved, her black lace and fingerless gloves. I still love fingerless gloves to this day. Prince was hot and happening. Michael Jackson was hot. Boy George and Culture Club was hot. Bruce Springsteen was hot. Tons of other groups, you guys, was hot. Van Halen was hot back then. So, back then my style was different. And you could see, you guys, right here, my style was so busy. It wasn't, over the years I've evolved and my style has changed with fashion, and I've done different things. There was a time when I was doing boho and a bohemian style, and now, I'm kind of what I like, I don't know, a little bit more toned down with neutrals and classic and chic. But the one thing that I want to talk to you guys about with Coach, it's funny how we as women change and our style change, and my style has evolved as a woman from being a young girl growing up to being a woman now. But even though I have changed with my style of clothing, there's one thing that remains the same. One thing that remains constant: Coach. Coach has not changed. Coach, that same young girl that carried that dinky bag back in the 80s, in the 1980s, that same young girl that bought a prairie satchel and carried it in the 1990s, that same young girl now as a woman can still rock and carry a vintage Coach bag. So I was saying all of that to say, you guys, that your style may change, and me as a woman, my style may change, but being a lover of vintage Coach, that hasn't changed. That has remained the same throughout the years. Decade after decade after decade. Vintage Coach is still here. It's still around. And just the fact that the Coach company redid these bags, just the fact that the Coach company redid these bags in the classics and the remixed and the restored collections tells you that, you know, Coach is still here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I'm so happy. At first, I gotta admit, at first I was a little mad. I was hating a little bit because I was like, why are they gonna do that? Why are they gonna bring back the bags? They need to just leave the original bags that we love, that we all love. But then eventually I realized the fact that they brought back the Coach classics and redid them, the fact that they brought back the Coach restored and the Coach remixed, that makes these bags even that more wanted, even that more sought after. It makes these bags loved all over again, because you have to understand that some women, you know, some younger women, they're just learning about Coach bags now, you know, the new millenniums, and they're just learning about Coach bags now, the new Coach bags. And some people that grew up with Coach bags, you know, we know about the ones from back then. And we all can love the bags, all of us, the younger people, the ones that grew up on it. We all love the bags. We love the classics. We love the Coach classics that Coach redid, and we love the vintage bags. But it brings us full circle, in my opinion, because it makes all of us, young, medium, old, it makes us all love Coach bags, right? That's what I think. And, you know, so I'm happy, you know, that they decided to go ahead and redo these beauties. And I love them in my collection. And of course, I love red because red is my favorite color. So, you know, the fact that I can incorporate some of these beauties in my collection in the red just make me that much more happy. And, you know, I just wanted to say, another thing I want you guys to do, comment down below. Please interact with me and let me know, what was your first vintage Coach bag? I want to know. I'm really, really interested. I would really like to know what your first vintage Coach bag was. Let me know. Let me know if it was a stewardess. Let me know if it was a Willis bag. Let me know if it was a dinky or a pocket bag. Comment down below in the comment section, you guys, and let's get a conversation started. Let me know, because I'm nosy and I love the bag so much. I just want to know what your first vintage Coach bag was. Also, I wanted to say is, what's really, really funny to me is sometimes when I'm in the street, and tell me, you girls, tell me, girls and guys, tell me, don't you all do this? Being that I'm such a bag fanatic and I love the bags so much, when I'm in the street, when I'm out and about shopping or doing whatever, I'm always on the lookout at what bag women are wearing. I'm always like, if I see somebody with a bag, I'm like zooming in. I'm like an android. I turn into a robot. I'm like, what bag is that? What bag is that? What bag is that? I'm always just looking at their bag. When I see somebody in the street with a vintage Coach bag, I lose my mind. I'm like, I turn into a little puppy. I'm like, I have to look and see that vintage Coach bag. And there has been several times when I see a lady on the street with a vintage Coach bag and I approach her, or if I'm talking to her about something, and I'll say, I love your bag. I'll say, I love your vintage Coach bag. And sometimes that woman will look at me like clueless, like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? They don't say that, but when I compliment them and I say, I love your vintage Coach bag, or I love your bag, I love your Coach bag, they just look at me like, and I think, and I'm justifying, this is what I think, you know, and of course I don't know. We can all guess as to what they're thinking in their mind, but this is what I think. I think that part of the reason why sometimes when I compliment somebody wearing a vintage Coach bag in the street is because a lot of times it's an older lady, and that has been their go-to bag for years. It has been their go-to bag for years, that they're not even consciously thinking about it as a vintage bag. All they know is that's their bag. That's their bag. That's all they know. That's their get up and go bag. That's their bag. So they're not thinking in terms of it as being a vintage Coach bag. They're just thinking, that's my pocketbook. That's my bag. What are you talking about? You know, because that bag has been with them for many, many years, and they've been wearing it, and they're not even thinking about how they might know, man, you know, I've had this bag for many years. They might know that, but they're not thinking of it in terms of vintage or a collectible bag. We as bag women, we kind of sometimes think the bags are classic, but we think of them as, whoa, that's a vintage Coach bag. That's a collectible bag. That's a beautiful bag. When I say collectible, I don't mean just to collect and put on a shelf and look at it. I mean collectible, but still to wear. We wear it. It's a collectible bag that we wear. And I think that they think, when I compliment them and say, I love your vintage bag, I think that they just think, it's my bag. What is she talking about? Whereas I'm looking at, whoa, that's a beauty. That's a classic. That's collectible. And it's a vintage bag. It's your purse. So yeah, you guys, but nonetheless, I just wanted to talk to you guys about this beauty in my collection. I'm going to go ahead and take her strap off so that I can handle her a little bit better to show her to you guys. And I am going to put her dimensions down below, but this is my beauty right here, you guys. And I just wanted to also share with you guys the fact that, how much I've loved the vintage Coach bags from even when I was younger. Some of the photos that I've put up are pictures of me when I was younger with my red dinky in front of my house, my home with my family that I grew up with, in front of my family's van. And you can see I was rocking that red dinky, that red classic Coach dinky, as well as I've just loved the Coach bags over the years. So this is the vintage Coach court bag in this beautiful color. And I have her in other colors. I'm going to do some comparisons with her coming up, but I just wanted to showcase this beauty today in this beautiful, beautiful red color. And this is what she looks like. And some, all of the vintage Coach bags are, when I get them, I try to get ones that are in better condition, but sometimes that's not what you're gonna find. If you're a vintage lover of Coach bags and you run across them at the thrift store or at a consignment store or wherever, you're not always gonna find some sometimes you're gonna find some that they've been around for years. They've been a little bit beat up, they've had some wear, they're gonna need conditioning. But then sometimes you run across a beauty, and in my opinion, this one right here is a beauty. I haven't done anything to her at all. I haven't done anything to this bag. This was the condition that, I was able to get her in. And I don't believe in dyeing my vintage Coach bags. I like leaving them as authentic as possible. I will sometimes put some conditioner on them, but in the case of this one, I didn't really need to do anything to her. So I love this court bag in my collection. Let me go ahead and show you guys the interior of her. And I had her stuffed to keep her shape. So let me go ahead and take the stuffing out so that I can show you guys the interior. And also what I wanted to say was, okay, here's the interior of her. I hope you guys can see there you go. You can see the lovely interior of her with the raw leather. And I love how some of the Coach bags had the raw leather all throughout, and then some of them under the flap still had the smooth leather. Oh, this bag is so beautiful. What I like about it too is that, Coach did the Cassie's with a similar top handle, and Louis Vuitton has the Pochette Métis and the Mansell with a top handle as well, the Dauphine, the Louis Vuitton Dauphine. But this bag right here, what I like about it is that some of them, like I know one of my other vintage court bags, the handle kind of stays in a little bit more upright because that bag has more wear. It's been used a little bit more over the years. Whereas this one, you see how the handle, I love the fact that the handle goes back down in place right there and is not stretched out. It's really good when you get one where the handle isn't stretched out. It goes back down into place when you're not using the bag. And of course, I love wearing this bag crossbody, as a crossbody, or just as a shoulder bag. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to share my vintage Coach court bag and talk a little bit about vintage Coach today on my channel. And you guys know I love the Coach bags. I could talk about them for forever. So I'm gonna go ahead and link some other videos, my playlist for vintage Coach down below, and just stay tuned to my channel. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to drop a comment in the comment box of which Coach bag was your first Coach bag ever. This video was so much fun to do, and I'll see you again soon in another video.